Subscription spending for video games is going up, reaching all-time highs, which is a good sign for Xbox Game Pass exclusives. They do not sell consoles anymore, something I've been talking about for a long time. Matt Piscatella weighs in on this in terms of people moving away from buying consoles because of exclusives. Looks like Xbox is going to be announcing some more games for PS5 and the Nintendo Switch 2 soon. Battlefield 6 gives us its trailer for the campaign, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. So we will talk about that plus some other things. But before we do get into it, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit the subscribe, share the video, like it, all that stuff helps the channel out. I do appreciate it. But for now, let's get into it. Xbox's big bet is obviously on Xbox Game Pass, and they're hoping that it continues to go up in terms of subscribers on a consistent basis. It seems like it has been growing relatively steadily, but we haven't gotten any numbers in a while for how many subscribers there are on the service. Call of Duty, when it did drop into the service day one, gave Xbox Game Pass a major boost of subscribers, but then seems like it kind of just leveled off again from there. And I wonder what Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is going to do for boosting subscribers. But as of recently, Game Pass and subscription services are actually all-time highs for spending in video games. And this did hit again here with June, as the gamers are spending money on subscription versus other means of playing video games. And I think there's a lot of reasons behind this, but Matt Piscatella put this out and says, content, non-mobile video game subscription spending increased by 32% compared to June 2024 to 562 million. This is an all-time high for a single month. So a 32% increase year over year is a pretty big jump for subscription services. And you have to ask yourself why. Why now here in 2025 are more people jumping in to signing up to Game Pass, signing up to Nintendo Switch Online, signing up to PlayStation Plus? Because he doesn't tell us exactly which service this is for, but I would take a wild guess here and say that Game Pass has contributed a lot to this because of the titles dropping into Xbox Game Pass, the third party and the first party. It's been a very, very strong year for the service. But it is not surprising when you sit back and you take a look at the industry itself and where we are with rising prices. The economy for a lot of people here isn't very good. Things are more expensive everywhere. And it's just at a time where people are looking to get more value out of their video games. How can they play the games that they want to play, or at least have a decent catalog of games without having to go out and spend full price on games? Subscription services are absolutely one way to do that. And if you're looking around, if you're shopping around for the best subscription services out there, you're going to land on Game Pass. It's just inevitable with how much they do offer. And then when you have games like Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and Black Ops 6 last year dropping into the service, you're going to get the attention of a lot of people. So that bodes very well for Game Pass going forward. It does seem like, as of right now, if this does continue, Microsoft and Xbox's big bet on subscription and Game Pass is going to be paying off, or it is at least going to be correct going forward into the future. The other thing here is exclusives. Now, I've talked about this on my channel for years now. It's funny to now see this starting to come out more and more, but exclusives are not the main thing that do sell consoles. We have statistics backing that up, at least specifically if we're talking about Xbox and PlayStation. It's a little bit of a different story on Nintendo, just simply because their games sell more than Xbox and PlayStation. They also bundle them with like every single console. PlayStation, I guess, does that as well, but it still isn't the main thing that people do play. But overall, exclusives do not sell consoles on Xbox, not on PlayStation. It is a part of why people buy consoles. It is a part of the reasons why people enjoy picking up consoles if they can only get that game on that platform. But it is not the main reason why people go out and buy consoles. And especially now with the changing demographic of gamers, as people my age and older, who are the ones that really grew up through the eras of exclusives being the main thing here, where you choose where you do want to play and where you go to the console wars, all of that stuff. It really is all going away. And Matt Piscatella talks about this further here in an interview with The Game Business, and shows where the future of gaming is. It's not about exclusives on consoles. It's about where can you play it, people don't care, and it's about features within the platforms themselves. He says this: we've been seeing this now for about a year or so. Every month you're seeing a game pop up that's been gone for a while, and you're like, how did that happen? Well, it came out on another platform. People who buy a hardware system these days, they're doing it because of the ecosystem, because of their friends list. You're not going to get people to transition consoles because of exclusives anymore. We're way beyond this point. And he continues here and says people are entrenched into their systems, and bringing the content to them is the only way to win. And that is what everyone is doing, except for Nintendo. They tend to do their own thing. Even they could benefit from it, but of course they won't. That's not their MO. So he is saying what is happening right now. And again, I've talked about this for a while. A lot of people have talked about this for a while. People don't care about going out and buying a box to play a single game anymore. If they have a box or they have something they can play the game on, they will wait till those games land on their platform, which is why when you look at Xbox and the strategy that they are doing is by bringing their games everywhere, not just to PlayStation, not just to the Nintendo Switch as well, but to the cloud, to people's phones, to computers. All of that stuff plays into people and the way that they do consume games nowadays, especially younger crowds. They just want to be where their friends are, or they just want to play on the devices that they do currently have. They don't really care about the whole console wars or the exclusivity stuff anymore, and they will wait to play games until they land on that platform, because we're also in a time where there's so many games to play. Tons of games are dropping almost every day at this point, where back in the day, you'd have to wait a while for a release date for a game. You didn't get demos as much. You didn't get to see all of the stuff that's happening within the gaming industry right now with like YouTube and people playing games and showing them off. You just kind of had to look in magazines and the old traditional style and wait for that game to play. And while you were waiting, you were just playing that same game that you already own over and over and over again. We're completely past that. And this is why exclusives right now, they don't have a huge hit. And you can even look at the attachment rates on Xbox and on PlayStation. They're relatively low comparatively to other third-party titles out there and to games like Fortnite and the free-to-play stuff that people spend a ton of time on. So this is the future. I think the Xbox is making the right bet. PlayStation is following. We have already seen that with a game like Helldivers 2, and I think we will be getting more PlayStation games on Xbox. There is rumor now that Lego Horizon is coming, and that would be pretty big here because Horizon is one of PlayStation's biggest IPs. And of course, MLB The Show already went over, and then all of their games as a service multiplayer games are going to be going over to every platform, Bungie games. So this is the new era of gaming. I think it is overall better for all gamers. And the statistics every month now are kind of backing that up, and subscription services and everything going up. Speaking of multi-platform and more games being announced for other platforms, Xbox is expected to be announcing more game ports for the Nintendo Switch 2 in the coming weeks. I'm not surprised. I'm actually more surprised that we haven't heard announcements yet from Xbox putting games on the Switch 2. I thought there would have been Xbox games at the launch of the Switch 2, but that just has not been the case. But we have this year in that same Game Business reports that it looks like Microsoft is preparing to announce a variety of titles for the Switch 2 and the PlayStation 5 in the coming weeks. Not clear which titles have been handpicked by the team, but Microsoft is set to launch on those devices. Specifically, it says here, Xbox is expected to announce more game ports to other platforms, including the Nintendo Switch 2 and PS5 in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, PlayStation is bringing its hit shooter Helldivers 2 to Xbox in August. We don't know what games these are, but we know Starfield is more than likely coming over to the PlayStation 5, so I wouldn't be shocked if now is when they do announce it. Grounded 2, I was actually shocked that that wasn't announced day one for all of the platforms, so maybe they are going to be giving us a date where Grounded 2 is going to be going over to the Nintendo Switch 2 and to PlayStation, simply because the first one was there, so they're going to bring the second one there. I wonder if maybe South of Midnight is going to be dropping, because that hasn't dropped on the other platforms yet. The whole strategy and the whole releases of Xbox games on other consoles is not black and white as some people think it is, because there are still games that are being announced that are coming out that are still exclusive on Xbox. It's just, when do they decide to put those onto the other platforms? That is the question that a lot of people have, but we'll see which ones those are. I'm actually interested to see some of these Xbox games and try them out and play them on the Switch 2 to see how they run comparatively to like the Xbox Series X. How can the Switch 2 stack up to it? I know it won't be as good, but I just wonder how they optimize it here for the Switch 2. So that will be interesting to see when they do eventually start coming out. When we talk about subscription services and why they are very important for a lot of developers out there to get their games and people to play them. One game that did launch on the service day one was Slow Clap's Rematch, which is a very fun multiplayer competitive soccer game that plays like Rocket League. They've already hit 3 million Xbox players. It is a record breaking, they say, for the beta and the future beyond season 0, because right now it is only in season 0. They say since release, including launching day one with Game Pass, Slow Clap's wonderfully physical take on the game has passed 3 million Xbox players. Not only that, but Rematch broke an Xbox record before it even came out. Its Xbox Insider beta saw every available slot filled faster than any game before it. So to me, that's a massive success story. I'm sure Slow Clap is very happy that they put this game into Game Pass on day one. You probably won't see too many people talking about it or writing just over the top headlines about how this is successful and how subscription services can help games, because whenever you see a developer come out and make a random statement about why they don't like Game Pass, you see all the crazy headlines. But to me, this is great because this is a great game, and I want this one to succeed. And I think that we're seeing this one do very, very well. I thought it would, just based off of the beta that people were talking about and putting out videos well before that official season 0 release of the game. You could see there was a lot of hype surrounding it, and people were definitely enjoying what they were playing. All right, let's talk Sony here. Sony is making another investment. This is what they've been doing, a couple of this stuff. I mean, they've done stuff with From Software, but now they're doing it with Bandai Namco. They're investing in acquiring more of the company. In fact, they have acquired 2.5% of the company for around $463 million. And this is to extend collaboration on games, anime, music into broader areas, and joint development plus expansion of rapid growth in anime and manga worldwide. One thing that the Sony, the corporation, and then you add in PlayStation, that what they're really focusing on here is when it comes to investing more in these companies, in gaming companies, is they're really looking at IPs that can expand out to multiple avenues of media. The entire anime side of things, Sony has a huge investment in that, and they want IPs like Bandai Namco will have plenty of those that they can reach into broader areas. And then, of course, they do talk about music here. So for them, this is a very strategic investment for them. Makes a ton of sense. I don't think this has any effect on where Bandai Namco games are going to be landing, because it is only 2.5% of the company. But I think they're going to look at how they can work with Bandai Namco more, take some of those IPs, and make a broader range of media with them. So we'll see how this ends up happening, and if they do any more investments like this. I think the days of acquisitions are probably behind us, at least for a little bit at this point, but I could definitely see companies still going out there and trying to make smaller partnerships and investments like we do see here. Yesterday, we got the trailer for Battlefield 6, the first one. I'm very excited for this game. I mean, every time I talk about this, I say I am excited for it. I just think it's going to be finally back to where Battlefield needs to be. I have that feeling for the game itself. They showed off the single player campaign trailer. Looks phenomenal. Like, I can't wait to play the single player campaign. I hope it's big and in depth, and there's a lot of content in there, and it's not just kind of a side piece to the multiplayer experience. But go check the trailer out. I think it does look great. And with this trailer, we did get some more information that leaked, basically confirmed here. We will get more information on this on July 31st when the whole multiplayer trailer event takes place and the reveal of the entire game. But we have this here, that it looks like the game is going to be released on October 10th. It's going to be priced at $80, which is that $10 price bump, because I believe right now in the States games are generally $70, and we heard about Xbox going back on raising their prices and bringing it back down to $70. That will be for the standard edition, and then for the Phantom edition it will be $110, and the PC versions are €10 cheaper, as with most games, which is always an interesting thing there, because you get the better version on PC if you have a good PC, but the actual price of the game is cheaper. So that is kind of what has leaked here, on top of the fact that we did get the single player trailer. The price is pretty high for a day one, but luckily, if you are on Xbox and in Xbox Game Pass, this is going to be, I believe, an EA Play game. So it will be dropping in there, at least for a 10-hour trial, to try it out first before you decide to go ahead and pick it up and jump into it. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see the full game reveal. Then you got October 10th with the release. Rumor is that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is in November. It just makes me feel nostalgic when we have these two big first-person shooters, which we had for a couple of years going against each other, releasing very close to each other, and then you see which one is better, which one you want to play, or you end up playing both, which is generally what I do. I'll definitely be playing the campaign for both Call of Duty and for Battlefield 6, and then I'll probably focus on the multiplayer one that I do enjoy more. And finally, we have this Assassin's Creed Shadows has given us their summer roadmap for the game, a bunch of free content coming to this game. So if you're a fan of it, you definitely should be checking this out. You have a progression update, which is free. New game plus, level cap is increasing, knowledge rank 9 and 10. There's Forge level 4 that's being added, new achievements and trophies, and new animist themed rewards, new store content. Then you also have quality of life improvement updates, which are free. And they say fast forward time of day, unfogging of the world map, hideout updates, uncapped frame rate in cutscenes on PC only, and then more free content. And then on September 16th, it's a DLC that I'm looking forward to, is Claws of Awaji. It is 10 plus hours, and there is a new region to explore, new weapons and abilities, new outfits and legendary gear, new enemy faction and bosses, and a new chapter of the story. So if you've beaten Assassin's Creed Shadows or you've put it down and you're wondering when to jump back in, all of this stuff is happening starting July 29th with the progression update, the new game plus, and the level cap increase, and then September where we get the expansion release. So exciting stuff there for that game. I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.